So you've been doing some 3D scanning for a while now and you're getting good at it, but you've been using the one-click process of Creality Scan 4. This does a great job, as I showed you in my last video, but now you want to take back a little bit more control. You want to start to fine-tune a few things, but you don't know how to, or didn't even know you could. Well, if that's the case, you've come to the right place. In this video, I'm going to show you how to manually fuse a scan. I'm going to show you how to manually mesh a scan. Then I'm going to show you how to export it to some software of your choice. Along the way, though, I'm going to explain to you what fusing is, and I'm going to explain to you what meshing is. Hello, I'm Charlie, and welcome back to my channel. As I said in the introduction, this video is all about manually fusing, manually meshing a scan. The scanning item I'm going to be using for today's tutorial is the rabbit. Now then, it's a bit of a boring object, but I've chosen it for a reason. If you look at his jacket, you can see that it is really detailed. Those little checks in there is going to be great today for explaining to you what fusing is and the settings involved in it. The scanner I'm going to be using again is the Otter Lite. Great little scanner. First of all, though, I've got to scan it. Now then, I ain't going to bore you through the scanning, so I'll speed up this next part of the video. Just for reference though, when I'm scanning this, I'm going to be using small mode. It's going to be in normal object, it's going to be in small mode because it is a small item and I want the detail to be quite high. I've got green all the way around, especially on his jacket, which is the bit I want to concentrate on for this tutorial. I'm just going to click finish, and there we are. Okay, that's the scan done then. Let's dive into the software. Let's get it manually fused, manually meshed, and exported. So at the time of doing this tutorial, the software for Creality Scan is version 4.1.7. Okay, so here's the bear then in Creality Scan 4. This is only the raw data. Nothing's happened to this at the moment. We just got raw data. It actually looks like a physical part. I know that you can make out the bear, but it's actually a point cloud. The best way I can think of describing it is like a solar system of stars. You've just got dots in 3D space all the way around, but there's that many of them. When you look at it from this sort of distance, it looks like an object. It looks like the bear. You can't actually see it on this software. On some software, you can actually zoom in on a point cloud and you can see the dots. But on here, all you can see is like squares. But that's done so the user can see exactly what he's scanned and what he hasn't scanned. So on here, for instance, I can see by looking underneath that I haven't scanned the base and I haven't scanned like under his coat, for instance. But I've got a fair bit of data on his coat because it was green. So I know then that that's going to be good data. So at this part of the last tutorial, and I told you to go to meshing and I told you to go to one-click process. So that basically fused it, meshed it, and then applied the colour processing so you could get like a picture on the outside. But we don't want to do that on this occasion. We want to do it all manually. So instead of going to meshing, then we stay on the scan tab at the top here and we click on fusion. Now then, as I say, it's like a solar system of stars. I'm going to do two resolutions. I'm going to export them into another set of software so I can actually show you this solar system of stars. So the first one I'm going to do at 0.1. That's the lowest you can go on this software. And that basically means is that it will remove stars that are closer together than 0.1. So it ideally wants 0.1 of a millimetre between all the stars. Because as you scan it, you might well get a lot more detail in the shoulder here, say, than in this shoulder this side, just by the physical way that you scanned it. So what this will do is, it will get rid of unnecessary stars in the area where it's really dense to make the file size more manageable. So I'm going to put the resolution to 0.1. Noise removal. The lower the noise reduction level, the more data can be retained. I normally leave the noise removal at 50%. Before I click apply, we've just got to bear in mind as well that obviously the lower the resolution, the longer it will take to compute, and also the larger the file size will be. So what I'll do on these two occasions, I'll time this. Okay, so that is the fused point cloud then for 0.1, and that actually took 1 minute 34 seconds to compute, and it's given us 3.5 million triangles to play with now. You can see the start of the contoured waistcoat. You can see the checks coming in. Now they're not going to be brilliant because those checks are really, really fine. And this is obviously an NIR scanner. I'm now going to export that model on the desktop. I'm going to call it Fused 0.1 and I'm going to save it as a point cloud. Okay, so for the next one then I'm going to go to Fusion again. You can do this as many times as you like. And I'm going to put this up as high as it will go, and it's 0.5. So basically it's telling it now that I want the stars in the universe to be no closer than 0.5 of a millimetre. And again, I'm going to leave the noise removal at 50% and start the timer. Now that was rapid. I did that in 9 seconds, but you can see why. We've only got 194,000 triangles now. And we've got no detail at all to his coat, have we? We've got the detail of him, but we've got no detail to his coat. So let's again export that. And we'll drop that on the desktop as Fuse 0.5. Okay, if I now open up some software called CloudCompare, I can import these point clouds. Okay, so there we've got the 2 point clouds then. This one here on the right hand side is the one that's been done at 0.5. This one here on the left is the one that's been done at 0.1. And you can see straight away from the one on the right, if I just zoom in on it, you can see how it's made up of dots, just like stars in the universe. Obviously the more dots, the more detail can be retained. So let's just zoom in on his other ear then, for instance. And you can see the dots there. Come over to the one that's 0.1. Let's zoom in on his ear. And you can see there's far more stars in this universe. There's just the tip of it there, look, and I'm only just about seeing the detail of the dots. So there you go then. I hope that goes some way to explain what a point cloud is. Let's get back to Creality Scan 4 now then. Once you're actually at this the fusion stage, you then have to mesh it. Now what's a mesh? If you think about those stars in the solar system, and you think about 3 of them, if you put something flat between 3 of those stars, it'd form a triangle, wouldn't it? And it'd be flat. You do that over the entire model, and that is your mesh. So your mesh is basically made up of triangles, and it covers it, and it turns it from points in the cloud, i.e. stars in the solar system, to an actual physical model made up of triangles. So there we are, back with our model fused at 0.1 of a millimetre. The way we do this then in the software is we set the triangle count, and although it says 1,000,000 there, it won't actually use 1,000,000 if it doesn't need to. If it can fit triangles between the stars without getting up to 1,000,000, it'll use that many. If it needs more than 1,000,000 to do it, it will then reduce it to 1,000,000. And as you can see in this particular case, the software is estimating that it's going to need 3.5 million triangles to do it. And obviously we've got to bear in mind how many we use for the software that we're going to use afterwards, and for the item itself. I mean, this bear, for instance, if we set that to the maximum, which is 10 million triangles, it'd just be ridiculous. There's no way in the world you'd need that many. However, if this was a detailed scan of a car engine bay, for instance, and you wanted it really detailed for whatever reason, you might need the 10 million, but just bear in mind you need the computing power and the software to be able to handle the amount that you have afterwards. So again, user choice. But for these 2 examples, I'm going to set them both at 1,000,000. Meshing, smoothing, going to be none. Boundary smoothing is going to be none. That's basically when it smooths round holes or the edges of the item. Remove isolated parts, anything that's floating, it says that it's going to move. I'm going to say no to that. And fill small holes. Anything that's going to be 5 millimetres or less, it's going to repair them. So let's just click apply to that. You can just see the detail in the coat. Just starting to get through. And as you can see, it has used 1,000,000 triangles to do it, just as we'd asked it to. As it was estimating 3.5 million in the software, as we'd set the maximum to 1,000,000, that's what it's done. It's obviously lost 2.5 million in the process. Okay, so let's export this mesh then to the desktop, and we'll have a better look at it shortly. STL file, mesh, and we're going to call that 0.1. So let's delete that mesh. Let's go back to the scan at 0.5. There it is again without any detail in his coat. Mesh processing. Go over to the mesh. Again, I'm leaving it all as what it's set. I'm going to leave this at 1 million triangles. Remember, it's 1 million maximum. I mean, look at the triangle count here now. 195,000. Smoothing's none, boundaries off, isolated parts, and the rest of it is what the other one was at. Apply that. So that's meshed that now then. It's 129,000 triangles. So basically, I said 1 million. You can go up to 1 million, but it just needed 129,000 to do it. So let's export this model, and we'll call this one 0.5. And I'll open that up in Meshmixer shortly. Okay, so there we are in Meshmixer then. And as you can see on the left, we've got our one there that was fused at 0.1. And on the right, we've got the one that was fused at 0.5. And as you can see, the detail is lacking in the one on the right, but we knew that. So, triangles then, mesh. The triangles between the stars in the solar system. If I go to show wireframe, you can actually see them triangles now. So I'll zoom right in on his face. And there they are, all the little triangles that have joined the stars. Just to make up the detail. And that is a solid mesh. Triangles between the stars. And that one used 1 million. So on there's 1 million triangles to make that up. So you get the detail in the coat. See the detail there. Go over to the other one, and straight away you can see there's less triangles. And obviously less triangles, less detail. Let's get them both on the same bit. So there's his coat. Coat in his hand. And you can see all the dimples in here on the left, look. Where all those triangles are pulling that detail out. This one on the right, look. It's lost it all because the triangles are flattening this out. So there we are then. I hope that's gone some way to explaining meshes to you. Okay, so I hope that's gone some way then to explain to you then what a point cloud is, what fusing a point cloud is, the stars in the solar system, and then what a mesh is, joining those stars with triangles. The main thing to remember from this is think carefully when you fuse it, because if you fuse it too low, you can't bring the detail back with the big mesh because it just doesn't work. If you want a detailed object, you've got to fuse it at a high resolution. If you're not too bothered and you want small file sizes, then reduce the setting in the fusion point cloud. All these settings are dependent on what you actually want to use the scan for. As I said along the way, if it's a detailed part that you need to reverse engineer, it needs to be detailed, so the fusion measurement needs to be low. If it's just for a space claiming scan, to see whether something's going to fit in an engine bay, for instance, then you can fuse it at a higher setting. Then the resultant file size will be small and your software will handle it better. Anyway, until the next time, thanks for watching.